Hey everyone, this is Ash. So you might know or you might not know, but I have been streaming and playing this awesome game called the Bazaar for the last few weeks now, and I've absolutely loved it. It's been one of my favorites to play. The gameplay loop is really awesome. The graphics and the animations are immaculate. I've really had a blast learning the different characters and the different builds and items and all of the synergies, and it's just been a really fun time for me playing this game. It's been in early access for the last few months, but as of Wednesday, March 5th, it is coming to free to play. So that means that not just I will have a great time playing this, but likely you. If you're watching this and you enjoy my content, that means you probably have the game or you want to play it yourself. With that being said, there's a lot of new people that are going to be playing this game, and a lot of them have no idea what they're doing, or they've never played an auto battler, or they have no idea what the Bazaar is. And I want to lower the barrier to entry as much as possible because I love this game. I'm not getting paid or anything. I just really like this game, and I want you to like it too. So I'm going to be putting out a series of videos that are going to teach you how to play this game, teach you everything that you need to know. All the ins and outs, and this is the first one in that series. This is going to be an introduction. I'm going to take you through the game. I'm going to take you through a little bit of gameplay. I'm going to show you pretty much all there is about the Bazaar. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right, so this is just the home screen. As you can see, this is the beautiful Bazaar. You've got some vendors here. This is JJ. He's really annoying, actually. We got some ships, we've got some skyscrapers, we've got a lot of beautiful things. We're going to get right into it. Like I said, the first hero you're going to get for free is Vanessa. You've got Pygmalion and you've got Dooley as other unlockable characters that are going to cost gems. We're going to get into that another time. For now, we're just going to get right in to playing a game with Vanessa. And we're going to show you what's going on. Oh, so exciting. I get chills every time. The little gong. Great. So this is going to be your game board. This is where everything happens. There's a few things we want to explain about before we continue along. So first things first, we've got this looking thing on the left. So first of all, this is your clock, and this is the time of day. So every day takes 6 hours, they call it. So this is hour 0. It's going to be then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This 1 represents the day 1. So at the end of each day, you're going to battle a player. And the goal is, at the end of each day, to beat that player 10 times. So you need 10 victories to pretty much win. Now, there are checkpoints in a ranked mode. This is unranked, so we're really only looking for 10 wins, but there are checkpoints here at this 4 and 7 win mark as well. But we're really going for the 10 wins, right? So you, at the end of the day, you go through your 6 hours, and we'll explain what that looks like in more detail. But at the end of each day, you're going to fight a player with the stuff that you have against the stuff that they have. And whoever wins gets a mark, and whoever loses prestige. Now, the thing about prestige is that you lose it based on what day it is. So on the first day, day 1, you lose your first battle. No big deal. You go from 20 prestige to 19. Day 2, you lose your second day. You go from 19 to 17. Still fine. And you say you keep losing and losing. Day 3, you go to 14. Day 4, you go to 10. Day 5, you go to 5. When you can't lose any more prestige, say it's day 10 and you're at 7 prestige or somewhere lower than 10 and you lose. Normally, your prestige should hit 0 and the game should be over, right? However, there is a special lethal mechanic that exists that basically puts you to 1 HP and gives you like a special event to like give you a one-time boost to all your stuff. You'll get to pick something that gives you great edge and gives you one more chance to continue your run. So don't feel too bad about losing all your prestige, even early. It's all about chasing those wins and doing whatever you can to scale right in that moment, because you need to get wins to win. That simple. So that's pretty much this part of it. Very quickly, we're going to go over some things here. We have a bank. This is the gold that you have, and this is your income. So you get this at the start of each day. So this is day 1. It just started, so we're getting 5 gold. And that's the 5 gold that we have here. After we fight the player on the first day, we're going to get another 5 gold, and that's going to be just income that we get every single day for the rest of the run. This is your health. Your health's going to change when you go up in levels, when you have certain items, when you sell certain items. This is going to change constantly, but it's pretty much always going to be at the maximum when you start a fight. And if your HP gets to 0 at any time during a fight, obviously you lose. So try to do what you can to keep that health healthy. These are slots for skills, and these are slots for items, and we're going to go over that in a second. Lastly, this is your chest. Basically just your storage, where you can store extra things that you don't want on your board. The first thing that always happens when you start a run is this little special event. So every hero gets something different. Vanessa gets their quarters. So we are going to start here, and it basically gives us 2 options. This is the current event that you're on. You can either get option A or option B, and both of these change all the time. We're going to take this one because it's got an item and a skill instead of a different skill. But something I want to talk about is there are tiers of items. So bronze tier is the lowest tier, then it goes silver, then gold, and then finally diamond as the top tier. So these 2 kits are a little bit different in that this is basically a third tier skill or a gold tier skill versus a bronze tier skill and a bronze tier item, but that item is enchanted. Now, enchantments are something a little more complex that I wasn't planning on getting into, but you'll see. We're going to take this one and I'm going to explain kind of what we've got here. So this is a skill. This is the skill that we got. So it says when you buy a weapon, you gain max health. There are skills that trigger in battle. There are skills that trigger outside of battle. There are skills that are permanent passives, all different types of things. You can have as many of these as you want. I know it looks like there's only 6 slots, but you can, once you get the 6th one, it will basically expand to allow you for infinite amounts of skills. And so this is our item. You can see this is a small item that's fitting on our board. We could fit 4 of these on our board. There are different sized items. This is just the small one. There's also mediums, which take up basically the equivalent of 2 smalls, and large, which take up the equivalent of 3 smalls, or 1 medium and 1 small. At the maximum, your board is going to be able to fill up 10 slots, and also you have 10 slots in your chest. Right, so from here to here is all space where you can put things. Something that I haven't talked about yet is experience. So you can see these little XP chips on the bottom. Every time you go through an hour, you will get 1 XP chip. That is always going to happen no matter what. So you're always going to level up, but there are certain things that you can do in the game to give yourself more experience so that you can level up faster, and we'll talk about those later. You can see that 1 hour has passed on the day because we went to our first event. We really only had 1 choice, and that only happens in the very beginning. But right now, we are presented with 3 choices, which is the standard. So the 3 things that the game usually gives us are a merchant, which will sell a specific kind of item. So this guy sells small items. An event, which is something that will probably give you more choices, and we'll go into that later. And then something for free. So this can be XP, this can be money, this can be an item of some kind. But you're basically always going to have these three choices. We're going to go to a vendor first, or a merchant first, because I want to explain the buying screen. So the buying screen looks like this. There are 3 items for sale at a merchant, always, except for one specific merchant, but that's like a special case. His name is Curio and he sells junk. But most merchants will offer you 3 items to pick from. Each item costs gold. You can see we have 5 gold, so we could buy 2 of these items. So I'm gonna buy this one, right? So I spent 2 gold. My skill triggered, which gave me 20 max health, which is really fun. And I got the item. So now it's on my board and I can do whatever with it. I'm gonna buy another item.
You wanna buy that?
Now I would love to buy the 3rd one, but I ran out of money. And that's okay. So, you also have the option to re-roll the merchant. Re-rolling costs gold, and you can do it 1 time per merchant, and you will receive 3 new items. They will never be the same item. So if I bought this and I re-rolled again, I would never get this again for this merchant. Does that make sense? I hope so. We're gonna leave for now because we kind of accomplished what we wanted to do. I will say, I want to talk about items really quickly before we go on. So, the things that were offered, some of them were weapons, like the grenade, which have ammo. You can see the little dots at the bottom. So this will trigger 1 time, and then it will not happen again. You can see that the weapon has a 4.0 seconds. That's its cooldown. That's how many seconds it takes to trigger. So a lot of our weapons are, or a lot of our items are 4 seconds. This one's 4 seconds. This one's 4 seconds. This one's 4 seconds. They all take 4 seconds to trigger. And when that 4 seconds is up, the things listed on the right will happen. So for this one, it will deal 50 damage. For this one, it will deal 40 damage, but it will slow an item for 2 seconds. For this one, it will heal 23, and it will shield equal to this item's heal. This is one of those enchanted items that I was talking about. The normal version of this is just that it would heal 23. Okay. Lastly, these are all bronze tier items. So remember I talked earlier about how there are 4 different tiers of items. If I had an item in the shop and the same item of the same tier appears in the shop, which is what will always happen, it will always be the same tier if it appears. I can, when I purchase that item, it will combine with the one that I have and upgrade the tier. So for instance, if there was a coral in the shop and I bought it, this would upgrade to silver. Each item does something different at different tiers. Sometimes the cooldown goes down, sometimes the amount that it heals goes up, sometimes the amount of scaling that comes from a certain item goes up. So for instance, this item is special in when you buy an aquatic item, which is a certain type of item, which is actually one that we bought. We did buy an aquatic item. You can see at the top there above the name, this is the Elusiray. This is an aquatic friend ray. So all of those monikers or typings apply to this item. And so since we bought an aquatic item, this gains 3 healing. It was originally at 20 and now it's at 23. So yeah, buying the same item will upgrade your tier. We're gonna leave for now and we're gonna advance to the next hour. This is our first fight. This is a monster fight. So basically, we're gonna be put up against one of these 3 monsters. Now they all offer 2 gold, 1 experience, and 1 special item after we defeat the monster. The item that they will offer will either be an item that's on their board or a skill if they have one. So we're gonna fight a monster and we're gonna show you what a fight looks like. So these are the items that this monster has, as well as a skill that he has. So all 5 of these things are available. You can see the cooldown triggering every 4 seconds for our weapon. However, because we only had 2 ammo, this weapon won't fire anymore and we're stuck. He's stuck at 20 health. There's nothing we can do. You would think that this would end in a draw, right? Because we're shielding and healing, and the fangs from the Inglet are not enough to do anything. Do you see this bar? Once this touches, something called the sandstorm starts, where you progressively take more damage until somebody dies. That's very important to know, and I'm going to say it again. The sandstorm will keep going until somebody dies, and it will get stronger and stronger. So, you don't necessarily need to have weapons that kill your opponent. You might just heal and shield yourself to a certain HP that's higher than them and let the sandstorm do the work. That is a perfectly valid strategy. Something I want to point out there, we took the item, they gifted us a fang, and we also received the 2 experience, and the 2 gold and the 1 experience, and then we also got 1 experience for the next hour of the day. Okay. Next, we're going to go to an event. This is the Jungle Ruins event. The event gives us more options to achieve. So we can either get some regeneration for free, and regeneration is something that will heal us every second based on how many we have. So if it's 3 regeneration, we will heal back 3 HP per second. We can get 2 bronze tier loot items, and loot items are items that when you sell them, they will apply something to a weapon or a tool or a certain item in your inventory. They also could do things like increase your max health, give you regeneration, increase slow or haste effects on certain items, which is a little more complicated, and we'll get into that later. This is a slow effect. Actually, we can get into it right now. So this slows an item for 2 seconds. When something is slowed, it takes twice as much time to execute. So if something is slowed for 2 seconds and it's a 4-second item, that means in those 2 seconds, it's only charging 1 second worth. So you would need an additional 3 seconds to trigger. So you can basically think about it like when something is slowed for a certain amount of seconds, it takes an additional half of that time to trigger. Half of 2 is 1, 4 plus 1 is 5. It takes 5 seconds. And that's assuming that it hits the same item every time, right? And so this last one is a special option for people that play Vanessa. You can get a small silver tier item. And remember that silver tier is higher than bronze. So this is pretty valuable to us. For the sake of the demo introduction, I'm going to take these loot items to show you what they look like. So because they didn't fit on our board, they went right into our stash. So let's see what they are. This one gives us regeneration. This one, when you sell it, it will reduce your leftmost item's cooldown by 3%, which is very good. So we can sell it. You can see that right now it's at 4 seconds. Now we're going to sell it, and now it's at 3.9 seconds. So that doesn't seem like a lot. Oh, and here's our 1 regeneration from selling the other item. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is very valuable in the long run, because every time this triggers now, it's going to be 0.1 second faster and 0.1 second faster. And you're going to save that little bit every single time. This is the curio shop that I was talking about. I'm going to go into it just to show the difference between this and a normal shop. Here you can see that the entire board is filled with items, which is really good. But they're all junk. They don't really do anything much. Some of them are food, some of them are weapons. Typically, These are items that can be sold, that reduce cooldowns. Like this feather is really good. I'm gonna buy this feather and I'm gonna sell it, and you're gonna see another decrease of our cooldowns, not just for the coral, but for all 4 of our items. So I'm gonna sell it 3.9, 3.9, 6.9, 3.8 now. And you can see that incremental progress getting built. And I'm gonna buy this insect wing and do the same thing. Now it's 3.7. So that's going down more and more and more and more. And I would buy this clockwork blades, but I can't afford it. So we're gonna leave it there. In fact, I'm gonna buy this last one. I'm gonna buy this scrap. I'm gonna sell this scrap, and it's gonna give this 3 shield. You can see it went from 23 to 26 because it's got that additional +3 shield on it. Now, there's not a way for you to actually see that, which is tough, but just know it's there. Like, you'll be able to at least see it on your tooltip of items. So we've reached the end of the day. I actually thought we had 1 more hour, but I can't count. So this is where we get put up against an actual player. This player is a ghost. So this is just asynchronous PvP. You don't need to worry about having a good connection or, I don't know, finishing in a timely manner. You can go at your own pace and you will be matched up by a random person on the same day. Doesn't matter what their prestige is. It doesn't matter how many wins they have. It is just going to be a person on the same day as you. So this is a different hero. This is the Pygmalion. So we're going to see how we stack up and our build stacks up against his build. And so when we're ready, we're just going to click on him and we're going to start the fight. So that's us, and that's him.
I should warn you, I'm not like other Jabari.
You can see that he has his own items and his own skills. And we're going to duke it out, and we're going to see, you know, who wins. And it's probably going to be him. I want to make that clear. We don't have the strongest build. We do have a very strong coral, but we simply don't have damage or utility enough to kind of keep up. But this is going to come down to the sandstorm again. So there is a chance that we can maybe tie or even win, just depending. We didn't. It was close, but we didn't get there. So now you're going to see our drop in prestige, 19 out of 20, and we didn't get a win. So we're going to have to, you know, continue along. But some things I want to point out for day 2, we got an experience because it was the end of the day. We got our 5 gold from our income, and now we start over again, ready to get to day 2. So I'm going to just take the free event, which is the last kind of event that I haven't talked about yet. This just gives us 3 free spare change, and they can sell for 1 gold each. So it's basically 3 gold. We've just achieved our level up, which did 2 things. Number 1, it gives us a few things. It gives us max health, so we've gone from 290 to 340. Number 2, it's opened our board space by 2. So these first few levels are pretty important because it goes from 4 to 6 to 8 to 10, right? So right now we're at size 6. And number 3, it gives us something. So this is Pip. He's going to teach us a skill for free. Just like a shop, you can re-roll the supply of skills. So let's look over these. Your poison items have +2 poison. We don't have a poison item, so that's not great for us. Your rightmost burn item has +3 burn. So that's not great for us. We don't have a burn item. And your leftmost burn item has +3 burn. Again, not great for us. We're gonna hit this reroll button and get 3 new options. So here's a good option. Your leftmost weapon deals +20 damage. Your weapons have 5% crit chance is fine. And when you win a fight against a player, gain 2 gold. I like this one. We're gonna take this one because it's very straightforward. You can see that the damage on our Fang went from 5 to 25, which is really good. We're gonna go through day 2 and we're gonna see how things turn out. I'm going to enter this shop and we're going to buy some items. I'm going to buy this seashell because it's aquatic, and I'm going to buy this seaweed because it's aquatic. And now you can see we filled up our board, and we've increased the healing and shielding on our shielded coral. And that should be enough for now. I think we'll take another fight. And now we get to fight something else. We'll fight this rogue scrapper. Now the rewards are going to be different on these bosses or these monsters, but the level of the monsters is also going to be different. So this is a level 2. You can see that 2 next to the giant mosquito. This is going to be level 3 for the covetous thief, and this is going to be level 4 for the rogue scrapper. I think that we're pretty strong with the items that we just got. So I'm going to take a fight with the big rogue scrapper because I want the 4 gold and the 3 experience. And because I know that there are some items that I can get from the rogue scrapper that would be very helpful. Here are some items that would be helpful. This med kit would increase the healing on my shielded coral. The junkyard repair bot would do the same thing. This junkyard club would increase the damage of my weapons, or just be a weapon. This scrap would give extra shielding to one of my shield items. Lastly, I could get this skill, which slows one item on my opponent's side for 3 seconds. So all these things are very valuable to me. I think that I can defeat this person just with the healing and shielding that I have. So we're gonna find out. Here comes the sandstorm. We're not doing a lot of damage, obviously, but we are shielding enough to defeat the rogue scrapper.
See that plank?
And we got the skill, which is really good for us. We're happy to see the skill. Next, we are going to go to Finn's Big Bite.
Food is life.
And here we have some options. So this is one of our events, right? So we get to pick one of these 3 things. This is basically a free thing as well. We can either get 5 max health and 5 regeneration. We can get 5% max health, and it tells you how much. It's only 17 health, and your shield items get 10 shield, also fine. But what I'm going to pick is you gain 5% max health, and your heal items gain 20 heal. And why am I doing that? Because it's giving me 20 heal here, and it's giving me 20 shield here. All really good. I think we could get a better weapon, so let's look for some weapons. These look great. I think I'm going to buy this cannon. Now, I have some options here. I can move these things into my treasure chest, and I can just buy the cannon here and have it go here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. However, I can also just sell the weapons or the items. So to sell something, I haven't really touched on this before. You take it, you click and hold, and you drag it to the top treasure chest, and you sell it. You can see that I got 1 gold from that. So let's re-roll. I want to see what options we have. And they're not great. I would rather have these items here and this one than anything else, truly. This shoe blade is something to think about, for sure. But it's not great. And I'd rather just have a cannon. So we're going to leave and call that a job well done. And we're ready for our second fight. So this one is against another Vanessa who won their first day. You can see that they're level 4. So they must have done something crazy to XP max all the way to level 4. That's very impressive.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
But they only have 300 health. So I don't see how they could be level 4. That doesn't seem quite right. Anyway, they have a lot of weapons that they're trying to kill us with. So let's hope that they don't. And it looks like they almost have, but we might be able to stop them. We might. It looks like they're gonna have a good time with the free shielding that they get, which is a shame. But there's not much we can do about it. We're gonna have to hope that the healing that we get
Bravery without
Oh,
strength
not
is a
quite.
sword without a blade.
We lost our day 2, but that's okay. We have more than enough time to finish this, and honestly, I think this is a good place to end, to kind of show you just the basics of where we are and what we've been doing. So you can see that we got one more level up. We'll talk about this. We've got 3 options. The level up rewards change every time you level up. So you can either here get a bronze tier item, bronze tier loot item and 2 gold, or 6 gold because we have 3 weapons. So easy thing to do is to take money. We'll just take this middle one, and it looks like we got some extra regeneration out of that as well. So that's pretty much the gist. The goal is, again, to use all of your items and try to beat your opponents. I'm sorry I didn't get any wins out of this one, but you get the idea. I'm gonna call it here, and I really hope you enjoyed watching this. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer anything. Like I said, this is going to be the first video of many, and I hope to really get out some great content for you to learn and experience the Bazaar to the fullest. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you at the Bazaar.